when we did it, since I didn't really know how to do it, we just kind of stumbled into it, and
And we're
it
live.
ended up just like playing. At some point, it just started working. So, all right, put my timer on. So, have you seen this movie, Luis?
Which movie?
Mystery Men.
Mm-hmm.
I have not. No.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it actually is.
Good in the sense that it's really like bad, or good in the sense that it's actually pretty good.
It was
No,
a
it's good.
superhero movie made in 1999. So they just decided to make a story. Well, it's based on a comic where like it's about incompetent people who get themselves killed, and it has like Hank Azaria and William H. Macy and
He's so good.
and Pee Wee Herman. What's his name? Paul
Oh,
Rogers.
okay.
And Ben Stiller, and he's also in there. And like Michael Bay is in it.
Dane Cook
is in it too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dane Cook, wow.
Yeah,
Haven't heard that name in a while.
What's the Jeffrey Rush is the bad guy?
Yes.
Yes. It is really.
And I think so is Artie Lang.
Yes, Artie Lang.
Wow.
Everyone's in it, and it made
Yeah.
And what's the?
Forget the girl's name.
Oh God. In any case.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's stupid, but it's actually good.
It's so good. Janine Garofalo.
I was not gonna guess that.
I knew it was something ethnic sounding. Oh, Eddie Izzard.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Literally
Claire Forlani. Yeah, I forgot. I like her.
Everyone is in it. Doug Jones.
Cal from Kenan and Kel.
CeeLo.
Cal from Kenan and Kel as well.
Oh yeah. But everyone's like really young.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's a really solid movie. My dad and I've watched it like 20 times and still get a consistent laugh out of it.
You saw people trying to kill themselves, basically, you said?
No, it's bumbling superheroes.
They're just not very skilled, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the production design is kind of Fallout. I don't know. It's this tells you everything you need to know.
It's really like cheesy.
Okay. Yeah, it looks
action,
cheesy.
But it's pretty funny.
Doesn't take itself seriously for half of a second.
Yeah.
How this come into topic, or
he had the car? He had the.
Oh, okay.
Dylan was telling me that somebody's restoring it.
Yeah.
Oh no shit! Okay.
I love ridiculous cars that they make for movies that like they could have just, bought like an armored personnel carrier. Instead, they made a Herkimer battle jitney.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he says the greatest. What does he say? The greatest non-lethal military vehicle of all time.
It looks like a cab over semi mixed with like a submarine or something.
Yeah, so it's an old cab over semi Ford that they put a different body on.
Okay.
But someone bought it and it looks like this now, and they're restoring it. So there are
look at those chunky tires in the back. Are those dually or single?
Yeah, they're
they're
like NDTs. Yeah, big giant.
Huge.
Wow, that's impressive.
But doesn't it look like Fallout?
It does, yeah. Like dystopian future kind of thing.
So it's a really solid movie.
Have you seen
of the week?
Right. Have you seen the new Batman? That one has a interesting looking like Charger Corvette looking thing.
It's like it looks like a Skylark.
I thought it was like a Charger Challenger. That's what I thought. With like a turbine on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's from the newest movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Patterson guy.
It reminds me of the Wesley Snipes Blade Charger.
Yeah.
I just saw those movies for the first time.
They're like really corny.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but they're pretty fun to watch.
My favorite line in the movie is, I think it's the second or the third one. Blade, are you ready? I'm born ready, motherfucker.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, doesn't he ad-libs a line in that? Doesn't he say, some motherfuckers never get tired of pissing uphill?
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
But he's so good. Yeah. Anyway,
Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Anyways.
All right.
So the idea was talk about I guess aerodynamic elements that are interesting to us or I guess just creative design. I don't know if you want to start, at least.
Yeah, I'll talk about the accidental discovery of the Lotus 78. So the story goes, or not even the story, I guess. Lotus was kind of doing this kind of, I guess they have like, what do you call it, where you run in place, the treadmill? And so they were building the body kit for the car, and the car was chilling there, and they had epoxy holding the side skirts. Right, that's a perfect picture, and the epoxy started dripping on the side, and it kind of fell down the side skirts, and they noticed the track pulled up underneath it. On the treadmill, I was like, oh, what's that? And so they eventually figured out, and they figured out they got like 30% more downforce, and it was a gnarly thing. This car, oh man, it changed the game.
So
I didn't know that that's how it was found.
This side skirt, it was the epoxy was dripping into the shape on the rolling road.
So
it's supposed to be higher up inside the body, and it fell down because it didn't. Epoxy didn't grab onto the body as much as it should have.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
but this isn't the twin frame car, is it?
No, that's the Lotus 80.
Got it. I see.
And that car didn't even get to race. It got banned before that because teams started protesting about that. It would cost them so much more.
So this car, I didn't read about this one, but is this the one that had? How did they separate it? Was it the seats?
Oh, sorry. Dylan, it's the Lotus 88. Sorry.
Oh, as an aside, I love these like little.
Mirrors.
They're cool.
Little snail Shrek ear things. They look like snail eyes.
Lotus 88. I get all these confused.
Damn.
No, go. Sorry. I hate these pictures. Go to the second row down. You can see like the blue.
This one.
First, second, third one. Yeah, that one. That's a better look at it. Basically, what happened was it had one chassis was for the car and the driver, kind of like get a feel for the track, and one was dedicated just for the ground effects. So the car could be jumping around, but the ground effects would be static. So the car would always have So basically, the suspension and the car's body were independent from one another. So you can have full ground effects with full wheel articulation. They were completely independent from one another. Typically, your car's ride height is kind of related to the car's ground effects. Like if the body's going up and down, you have less suspension articulation. When you have two different chassis like this car had, it didn't matter.
So it's a live. It's almost
like right. It's almost like an active suspension in a sense, but not.
God, that is so cool.
It's like it's almost like a quasi active suspension. It's funny that because this is so like relevant today with what's happening in F1. And the different ways that they're trying to figure out how to get consistent downforce out of their cars right now without active suspension and without twin frame designs.
Yeah, it's like you're sitting in a buggy on top of a slot car.
Yeah, and it funny part is it raced, or if it did race, it wasn't very good to begin with. I don't think it won very many races. It was just a bad car.
Interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't. Teams protested.
Cool idea.
It's a cool idea, and all the teams protested because they're going to be like, "Oh man, it's going to cost us so much more money," especially for like the poor teams, like up and coming teams. They would have to completely redesign, create two chassis, and it was just bad.
Riverside, baby.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. But it was
mine are all F1 related.
Mine's all road cars, so I'll balance it out.
Nice.
Yeah, the side skirts are originally, on the Lotus 79. They're originally made out of nylon, but then the tips were changed to Teflon, then eventually ceramic. And I think it was Mario Andretti was driving the car at the time.
That's what it said, yeah.
And he was driving around the car, and they're like, "How do you go so much faster doing this and that?" They made up about during testing. They got 3 seconds faster per lap. In some cases, maybe 5.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And Andretti, so they wouldn't leak out the secret. He said, "Oh, it's a new differential we got in the car. It's really helping with those churning speeds."
My man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It
Oh,
was. It's definitely a cool car. I'll put a picture in the chat here in a second of a better look at the arrow or the side skirts.
Mhm.
You can see it's kind of like is it a torsion bar? I guess it would be like how it's like forced to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a coil spring.
There's
Yeah.
the coil spring. Yeah.
And then, but the thing
Kinda
is, you
zip
can
tie.
you can lift that up and lock it in place. So if you want 0 side skirts, you can just keep it there.
You're on a bumpier track or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So they don't use them very often because they don't want people to mess them up.
Shout out to motorsport.com. I got
Yeah.
most of my images from there
Oh, did
for
you?
this episode. Yeah. It ended up just becoming an F1 thing for me.
Yeah, dude, Formula One like tech is nuts.
Yeah, just because of the way that they have to get so creative.
It's basically they're trying to do everything to cheat without cheating. Basically, the cheat, like if it's not in the rules, then it's not cheating, I suppose.
That's the thing that's changed about this year. This year they said
Oh
anything that's
yeah,
not
they have to
explicitly
share
mentioned
ideas, huh?
is not allowed. And in addition to that, there's a single what they call the uniform car, which was designed by the FIA. So it's just like the baseline car that they all have to go off of, and then from there they can only change certain what is this? Oh, okay. They can only change certain like front wing elements, side pod design, roof, like the vane on the going down the top of the car, but they're really not allowed to change much more than that now.
Well, aren't they just obsessed with? Are they over the electronic assist, electric car assist? Now
It's so complicated nowadays. The drivetrains
is that
between
like a PR thing? We're good for the Earth while we're racing, or is it just faster? Seems like it'd be faster
Both?
to just have a.
I think it's both, isn't it? Because they've been
It's hard
using
to
the
say.
hybrid
It's
era
hard to say.
since like 2014 or 15 or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say because they've dialed back a lot of aero that the cars could have now. The cars are also heavier. The lap times are faster, but the cars aren't as agile. It's really hard to say kind of like where we
It
would be
seems
today
like
if they weren't as I don't know. I don't think it's entirely necessary to have all the hybrid aero or the hybrid technology. I think it's really mostly done to innovate for road cars.
Yeah.
Because the idea was, I mean, before EVs kind of took off, the idea was let's maximize efficiency in gas engines.
Yeah. It also seemed like weren't they hitting a point where they were getting too fast for the tracks?
That's always been an issue.
And it
You
seems
can't
like
have
with electric you could get better straight line, better braking, higher speeds, and just
no. I mean, it's an entire formula. They have to consider like the tires. Even the tires are aerodynamically designed nowadays. The profile, like the contact patch, the fuel, like everything is done so that it fits into the current track infrastructure. So new tracks, this current generation of F1 tracks are just bigger and wider than they've ever been before.
Look at Australia, the most recent.
Yeah, right. Australia looks tiny, and it's a relatively new track. Like it's
on some
1996.
turns, they expanded the turns by like 2 or 3 meters.
But it's still a tiny looking track compared to
3 meters is a full lane.
Right, exactly.
But these new cars are much bigger, and
they used to be a lot longer too. They shortened them, I think, this year, didn't they?
Mostly like not really in the wheelbase, but mostly everything after the front wheels. So
overhang
the nose section, the nose overhang came down a lot.
Also, back to the whole changing, didn't they maybe I read wrong, like they have to basically announce their changes like to a committee. It doesn't have to be public, but then they'll approve the changes or not if they allow prior to the race, I think, or a couple days prior.
Oh, that's funny because yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that because that's definitely not how it used to be. People would show up with secret technology just like this.
Right.
That seems like way more fun.
Well, that's dude. F1 Aero has always been really fun to read about.
And then sorry.
No, go ahead.
And like once they get their changes through, I think they can race. But then it's more of like public information. It's more like open source in a sense.
Oh wow, no, I didn't know that. There's a lot of rules with. I think we could do a whole episode on just the way that the rules and the formula has changed.
That's some NASCAR shit right there.
To try to level the playing field, but with weird consequences in the actual like quality of racing. There's a lot there, actually. There's a lot there.
Dylan, anyway. Check out the picture I put in the chat. It's a better visualization of the twin chassis.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so where do they connect? In this?
That in the rear.
And right here?
Yeah. So you would see the tires would go up and down mid-race, doing whatever they do to kind of keep track, and then the tires would basically go up and down as the aero chassis stays still, or the side skirt chassis.
Man, there was some top tier, like inspirational thinking here.
Oh, definitely.
I love this. Like, hey, what if? Because this started in a pub. Is like, what if we? You can't do that. I'll show you. Right.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to go to the American side of cheating and whatnot, there's Smokey Eunuch. He did some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too sidetracked. Or one of you guys
go ahead. Yeah, if you have the is that your other car? Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, it's a very short story. It was called the Smokey Bandit, his car, and basically they were trying to figure out how can we go faster. I think it was Daytona. How can we go faster on these tracks? And he's like, they're trying to adjust a spoiler angle, do this and that. And then the story goes, they were at a Buick courtesy car. You know how the trunk has like a soft closing, like latch it, it's closed and then it's softly closed. And they figured, cool, let's use that. And eventually they used that soft closing mechanism on the rear spoiler so they could adjust the spoiler angle remotely.
Huh.
So on the straightaway, on pit lane, it would be, all the way up. And then as soon as they start going on the track, it'd just be full, like flat, and it would just be going 20 miles an hour faster. It was radio controlled.
Is that it? Is that it right there? That spoiler that you can see in the
trunk
right?
lid?
It's a little trunk lid spoiler, right?
Like a gurney flap of sorts. Yeah.
That's such a great cheat.
And because they weren't allowed to adjust the spoilers, and so there's a cool video I'll have to share with you guys. It's basically about how the interpretation of rules, basically like the gray area. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. So the drivers weren't controlling it.
No, this car is really nutty. I don't know if have you heard about all the stuff they did for this car? Like, I don't know like this guy, he had 2-inch thick or diameter fuel lines that were 11 feet long.
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard this.
So he could get actually like 2 or 3 gallons of fuel.
Yeah.
Into what, like a 427, right?
Exactly. And then he would he shaved the bumpers, tucked them in a bit. The roof he adjusted. He put a little tiny little lip on the rear, like window. And then in the rules also said, if you go back to the chassis, Dylan, where it shows underbody, in the rules at the time it stipulated there has to be a floor. It didn't say where the floor had to be located. So basically, he dropped the entire floor, and it was basically built around the chassis, suspension, exhaust. So it was a flat bottom car entirely. They never said where the floor had to be.
It's next to the frame rails. Wow.
Exactly. It's super flat.
That's cool.
Yeah, that car is neat. And Bruce Canepa used to had this one to restore it, or had it, owned it, and sold it. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Damn, that's such a cool shop. I want to go back someday.
Damn Chevelle.
Yeah. Yeah, I should go more. I live like 45 minutes from that shop, and I've only gone twice.
Yeah. You should go again. That was such a cool experience.
But I think, y'all got any more questions I can try to answer? I know the Lotus, both the Lotus 79 and 88 were nutty cars. The Smokey Eunuchs, one of the biggest cheaters I don't want to say cheaters, but rule interpreters of NASCAR.
Yeah, that's really clever. Actually, I have a few. So this one's pretty simple, but I sent it to the chat. Oh, maybe it's not loading correctly.
That was a lie.
It didn't. It's like frozen. Okay, so just can you
Frozone.
please search Terrell 0 TY? Sorry, no, not. It's
Oh, Tyrell.
yeah. 019. Thank you. So you can see any image like with the car front like head on. The whole idea was this was kind of the beginning of it's fine. This was kind of the beginning of the philosophy of using well, okay, so ground effects were already banned at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Very minimal looking aero car.
yeah, but this was the first car to use the high nose in F1 to direct more airflow underneath the front wing and underneath, basically through the underbody of the car. So, I mean, ever since then, like this is just the way people have done it until 2014 when they forced a low nose on cars again because they started getting so high that they were becoming dangerous in like a side impact. So, um,
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
Oh, that one that had a funky like droop down, like
the
step
step,
down.
yeah,
Yeah.
the step nose.
It looks like Alistair's favorite BMW.
Mm. So that's one. The next one, I have images that I had in mind to send, but it might be a little hard. Let me
It's where is the arrow getting
just
directed into the intakes or piece?
no underneath the bottom, just into the basically using the whole underbody as a big wing.
Oh,
Just
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, just a workaround from not being able to have um not being able to have
Ground
ground
effects.
effects. Yeah. So
Because I think
uh,
ground effects got changed in like 2 or 3 years after the Lotus really got crazy. I think with it, like was it the 80s, early 80s? I think it got
yeah, it
changed.
was like
Maybe that.
82 or 83.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
okay, here's another
when they
image.
say ground effect, is it this sort of where it pipes the air upwards out the back?
Yeah, you're basically trapping the air from bleeding, washing out the
Right.
sides of the side pods. You're locking the air in so that you can direct it out the rear diffuser
Like a tiny
underneath.
ramjet.
You're
Mhm.
keeping high and low pressure separated as well, like the Bernoulli effect of sorts.
So that's the whole benefit of having like what um, Luis was showing with those different Lotus cars by trapping the air or by having those little side flaps that push
Yeah.
down into the ground. So those side skirts, you can call them that, they were the original side skirts of cars. The not like the fucking West Wings body kit that you saw
Yeah.
in the Fast and Furious days, but
I
those side skirts were like completely banned
hmm.
in about 1982 or 83. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The point is
Yeah, you can see
Just
they had
it
to
makes
no, the reason well, it was the ban was also a safety concern too.
yeah.
wasn't it about shape and beheading people?
No, it was cars. They were making the cars so low that on certain bumps the cars would bottom out, lose all their aero, and just have no
Oh.
traction, fly off the track. Isn't that what happened to Senna? How he died? I think he bottomed out on the
Well,
turn and
that
died.
one was
Kind of.
interesting. That one was actually mostly had to do with the way that they banned active suspension,
Oh, active.
which
Okay.
was a workaround from like, maximizing aero underneath the car.
Okay.
Is actually something that I feel like they should bring back this active suspension in the days of porpoising, but
Hmm.
I doubt we'll ever see it.
Wasn't he killed? He was killed by this thing too. So he lost control because he underbraked.
No, he
No,
lost
he
control
overcorrected.
because they banned active suspension the race before, so the car wasn't set up properly,
and
and
this thing hit him in the head.
well, yeah, that's what killed him.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
He also hit a
he
wall head on pretty
crashed
fast.
because he crashed because of the car setup being fundamentally different than it was, um, in the earlier races in the season. But I sent an image of this thing. So this thing is actually pretty interesting.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the McLaren designed F duct was air would go into, you can see it's indicated at number 1. Air would go in through the nose, or the top part of the nose cone, actually into the cabin. And while the F duct was inactive, it would actually flow I guess it shows through the tube and out the side of the car, and it wouldn't do anything. But on the straightaways, the early design had it so that the driver's left knee would move on the straightaway, and they would have airflow freely in through the cabin, in over the shoulder, and back into the chassis and inside the monocoque, the structural monocoque that's been homologated.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you can see how it combines in with the actual part of the intake, or the like a section above the engine intake. And what it does is it stalls the rear wing out.
This is like an assassin's teapot.
And so by stalling out the rear wing, you reduce downforce and you reduce drag, basically creating a higher top speed. McLaren was the first one to do it, and then Sauber was the second one to do it. They had a slightly different design where the duct, instead of going in through the nose, went in through the side pod. Then Ferrari and Mercedes did it. But sort of the interesting thing was that this was the first time that you saw like driver controlled air drag reduction. And this was actually, once it was banned, I think the same season, they wanted, I think, to ban it. I don't remember, but after they banned it, which it didn't last very long, this became this became like the antecedent to DRS that we see nowadays, where the rear flap opens up and creates, less drag. But it was, my favorite part was, hold on, let me see if I can find this image that shows how
while you bring up the picture, is this the one where the drivers, I think it was some drivers, they would cover up a flap with their left hand? Is it the same thing?
That was the second version of it.
Oh, okay. Because I would see the drivers like on the straightaways, they'd have their left hand off the wheel doing one thing, and then the right hand would be doing something else, like a shifting or turning at the same time, one-handed.
Let me show you this.
So
this image.
They physically block it with their elbow or their knee.
Or they
in the first one, it was their left knee that they would move slightly. They would shift it slightly and let air flow through the cabin. I sent another image, just so you can see a little bit better. But the air is literally flowing freely through the cabin and back behind, like by their torso, and back into the chassis. So it was like,
it sounds like it could go bad really fast, like if a rocket's
I think the original defense was literally like that it was just to cool the drivers.
I knew it would be like, it's for comfort.
Yeah, but it was totally just for performance. And a couple teams did it, and then they were eventually banned.
Are you guys aware of it?
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
Depending on the hole you cover up, different liquids come out.
Yeah. Anyways, reminded me of the same idea. And it's also duplicitous. It's our favorite guy. This dude, I don't remember his name.
Oh, Steve Mould.
Oh yeah, the toy
Steve
guy.
Mould. Yeah, Steve Mould.
So anyway, that was just a cool.
Yeah, dude. I forgot about the F duct.
Yeah, the F duct. There was. I have one more. So around the same time. This is my last one. This one I think Dylan will like.
Nice.
Let me find.
Better be an Oldsmobile.
First, let me just describe it. I mean, I don't think you really need to see anything. The point is, it's the exhaust blown rear diffuser.
Oh, hell yeah.
What it was in principle was exhaust air being driven into the rear diffuser, originally all the way underneath the car. And that started in the 80s, right? So like the idea was just basically get air to travel faster through the diffuser to create more downforce. The problem was in the original designs was that they basically you were linking the amount of downforce to your throttle position and engine load and RPM. So it was very inconsistent.
Yeah, if you lift
right?
off,
Yeah.
that could be an issue.
Yeah, exactly. So they actually like I'll find a video for you to watch later. It's really cool. It's I think 2010. I don't know, but there's a video of Sebastian Vettel driving the car. Red Bull was the first one to have it, or I think they were like just the most successful. I don't even know if they were the first, but they he has it completely floored through these corners that do not make sense. Like you shouldn't be going as fast as you are, but he had to be full throttle in order to create the downforce in the first place.
Like full throttle in the wrong gear. just like a teenager double clutch downshifting on a racetrack.
So they originally I mean, again, it started in the 80s, and let me see if I can find an image, or maybe you can find one too. But the original one, like you could just search like exhaust blown rear diffuser F1 or something. The original one had the exhaust literally just being dumped into the rear diffuser, and that became the later one. But let me see if I can find this one image that you'll really like.
Jesus. God, these guys must be so. Imagine how much the physical stress of this.
Mm-hmm.
The hell?
Are F1 cars currently at the heaviest they've ever been?
Yeah.
Like, by heavy, we mean 795 kilos.
Yes. As much as a Harley.
Yeah, exactly. And its driver.
Damn, that is an exhaust right there.
Oh yeah, that's like the new style because they've tried to eliminate that completely. Nowadays they said you have to put the exhaust somewhere here and not going into the diffuser at all. I sent an image that I think you'll like, Dylan. So originally this idea was so crazy and so successful that they wanted to get rid of it like mid-season. They're like, this is fucking crazy. Like, you guys shouldn't be doing this. Like, because I'm saying like you got to see like 5G cornering. Like, it's ridiculous.
Just to do
so
blacking out at the edge of his vision.
So what they did in this, you can see in this image between the top and bottom, is this is why I think Red Bull was the first one to do it. Was I think because they were hiding it. So they actually applied a sticker on the top part above the actual exhaust. So you can see how on the top image it doesn't have anything up a little bit. Or like, do you see how they're different? Right above the suspension arm, there's the real exhaust on the bottom, and then above that there's a suspension arm, and then above that there's a sticker, and then there's just carbon fiber on the top image.
Yeah.
So that's just a fake sticker that threw off people originally when the car was debuting, to show that it didn't actually have a blown rear diffuser.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all it was just a sticker.
Yeah, it's confusing people.
But it absolutely did. And then later on they tried to hide it in different ways. I think Lotus had one where the exhaust came out the bottom edge, so like the exhaust tip was like a almost like a NASCAR style, like those long thin rectangles.
Oh yeah.
And they hit it so that it came out basically the side skirt.
Gotcha.
And then anyway, so the problem still kind of the problem still kind of remained where they were linking. You had a very strong link between throttle input and downforce being generated. So what they did is on the off throttle, when they would lift going into corners, or they'd lift mid corner, whatever, like basically what they ended up doing was they would cut ignition and fuel to keep spinning the engine, keep blowing air. They called it cold blowing, to keep driving the diffuser and
like
generating downforce.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anti-lag. Okay.
It was almost like anti-lag, but I mean, these were NA V8s It was just an ignition cut, like a misfire.
Oh, okay.
And they later had one called cold blowing, or hot blowing, but I never really understood how that one worked. But the cold blowing was just an ignition cut, and it would keep the engine spinning but not making power.
I mean, theoretically, if you were complex enough, you could have the air pump still running and cylinder delete, right? So that it was loping and pushing air through, and you could put a little bit of gas in to keep air moving through it, right? You could make a less efficient, you could make it a bad air pump instead of a good air pump, and just keep the air moving, right?
Yeah.
Well, isn't the tolerances and friction in those engines super tight that you wouldn't even create anything once there's no power going through them, though?
I don't know.
I don't know the first thing about these. My aerodynamics assignment was handled much differently. So
okay,
I have a video. You can just see it in the first like 5 seconds. What I'm talking about. What is that?
Discord
the login
page.
Oh, you can't hear it. Volume's down. That's a normal car. There.
Oh wow, is it the V10 or
V8?
Oh, is it? Okay. It sounds so good though.
You can hear how the two Red Bulls had that like crazy backfire. I mean, I guess on the straightaways they'll sound
amazing.
The same, but under braking is where you really notice it.
It's like an electric guitar.
Sounds like
Motley Crue or something starting a song. That's really intense.
You kickstart my heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Super loud, right?
Yeah, dude. That one wasn't that bad. That one.
Yeah, not everyone had it. Like, you know.
You said this was called a cold blow, or what would you say it was called?
I think that one is cold blowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 second penalty to the FIA for not keeping this sound.
Yeah, I was banned.
The cold blowing or the blown diffuser?
Exhaust in general, right?
Okay.
Blown diffusers engine. Yeah. So now, like, I think Dylan showed an image where you see the exhaust like fucking front and center on the back of the car. Like, that's how they are now. Basically, you have the exhaust does not interact with the exhaust nowadays doesn't interact as much with.
They're like, it's out here. It's not doing anything. I promise. Is like how they mount them now.
No, it's like right underneath the wing, kind of like up in there.
Yes.
Oh, there's a nice diagram.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just really cool.
Okay, I have some very silly aero stuff that I have to show you, but
cool.
It's just stuff that I like from street cars.
Yeah.
So first of all is this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's the little rubber one, right?
Yeah.
What that was like a create more drag on the front?
It's just like an active aero thing that was supposed to go down at 80 kilometers an hour.
Probably just to make the car stable, honestly.
Yeah. Well, it was the second most expensive car, right? According to
this guy. Yeah.
Okay, watch. Are you ready?
I always love the tech in this. I love the technology in this Mitsubishi.
Come on, guys, speed up.
Oh man, we're hauling too much ass. We're going 40 miles an hour.
That's cool.
I thought that was great.
I really felt like it was probably just to make the car feel stable still at speed. I never thought like this did much as far as like lap time.
No,
I don't think it was just
could have been like bragging too.
Our money is worth so much. We can do whatever we want. Let's do this. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That was a different time for.
And then also they were like, yeah. And then my other one, I never knew that motorcycles could be had with ram air. This is the ZX12. It has a ram air intake on the front.
Oh wow,
that's so cool. Yeah.
And
that was the fastest bike when it came out, huh?
Yeah. I found a thread on a forum from 1999 with all these Hayabusa guys bitching.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, this is terrible.
Yeah, what are we gonna do now, boys?
Oh my god. What are we
It was like an IRC or something, like a super old school messaging board.
Yeah, it was like a BB. What is it called?
BBI or
Forum DB, GeoCities site. I don't know.
Yeah,
some forum.
that's cool. That's cool. I'd like to read that because the Hayabusa, the first gen Hayabusa, had the intake in the front and center, but I guess it wasn't a true ram air, huh?
Not and
I
like
don't know.
this dude was like doing all this science in a thread that I found where he was like,
Uh-huh.
by my math, it at most adds a 0.06% or 0.6% increase in power. I think this should be banned. It's not safe. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
That is cool.
What were they complaining about? That the bike had less top speed than the Hayabusa?
That's gonna beat their bike.
Yeah, something was faster than a Hayabusa. They were like, I want to read that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I thought was so awesome. So I just never knew that some of these Kawasaki's had these are functional intakes, which I thought was really cool.
That is really cool.
Look at those colors, man. Tell me it's contemporary or not. I never have like a Ninja Turtle or something.
With this color scheme, you're gonna need the seat.
Right.
That and then I was going through like, I was like, we all know every single car that has a NACA duct, right? It's F40, F50, every race car. These and what is this? The Montreal has them.
Mhm.
But did you know that the 1973 Pontiac Grand Am had T-tops? And
that's a funky looking car.
You gotta have the T-tops with your NACA ducts.
Oh, yeah.
This Proboscis on the front, a 400.
And you gotta kill somebody with that.
And NACA.
That's such I do not like this car.
I hate it so much. But it
reminds me of the Firebird from the same era that has this funky front too.
Is this a B body? I don't even know.
It's a Grand Am. I think it's a B body because 73 they got ugly.
It's one of one.
Yes, because not many got the GTO package because GTO became a package.
Oh,
instead of
I
a
didn't
car.
know that.
Yeah. What a
horrible
piece
That's
of shit.
Cool. Yeah, it's awful, but it's cool that it has the two little nostrils.
Right.
I wonder if that was like kind of like inspiring for the later Firebirds to have like extra vents and shit on the front.
I think so.
Maybe. Well, we can talk about NACA ducts, I guess, but they're basically like a low drag, low interruption sort of intake, right?
Yeah, well, NACA was the predecessor for NASA, and they standardized airfoil designs, and they designed this in like 1949 as the most efficient way to get high pressure in without disrupting flow outside.
Right.
And it's a standardized. It's like like a
like that shape is standardized.
It's like USB-C.
Of the NACA duct.
Like the design is
design. Okay.
You can change the size of it, but
the ratios and dimensions are within these kind of parameters or whatever.
It's a specific thing, and it's the same on everything. Which is why you can sell carbon fiber ones.
Oh, I didn't even think about the Countach side intake to be like a NACA duct like that.
Is that really a NACA duct on the Countach?
I don't know.
It looks
it's like
it is.
The snout is a little narrow.
Yeah.
Like towards the beginning, but I guess I never thought about them being sideways, like
there we go.
Vertical, not right. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So I thought that was pretty extreme, and then I have one very interesting one for you. So we're gonna, the coefficient of drag, the rating. So we're gonna start with the least efficient car on my list, which is the.
What's your range?
So this is the least.
Oh wow! This is the least efficient. Jeez.
This has the highest. I'm gonna guess 0.28.
0.32.
Really?
Okay.
Damn.
Right. I'm gonna guess it's like a Mercedes in the first place or something like that.
First place?
Yeah, because the CLA had a 2.0 or 2.2.
They get crazy. Well, because you have the EV ones, and they're insane. They're EV ones, and that stupid Volkswagen go-kart.
The XL1.
So the next one is going to be Saab 2.
I love this thing.
This fucking pill-looking bug.
I love it.
Are you ready?
So cool.
It has a CD of 30, but was not designed with. It never had any aero testing.
Okay? Oh wow!
The sides are stamped out of one piece of metal each. So
very cool.
This is all one piece of metal, and they stamp it, and then put this little rubber in there, and this is all one thing. Okay.
Wow, that's a big piece.
Also,
that was was really good for the time, though, right? Point 30 was
incredible.
the best,
really the
probably out of
best.
anything. Yeah.
And
Better than the Corvette.
flush-mounted headlights. You'll note that they're pre-Frenched from the factory for
Very
aero.
nice.
And this was the Jet designers. This was actually the one designed by Jet designers, right? So that is 0.30. Now, one better. We are going to go for the Rumpler Tropfenwagen.
I love this one.
Oh, this thing. Yeah.
So they only sold 100, and they were very well liked as cabs because of the high roof.
It seems like something out of a Disney movie or something.
I just love the name.
The Rumpler
The
Tropfenwagen.
Rumpler is what gets me. It sounds so like vulgar and like pervasive.
That's cool.
It's like
What's the
calling her a
CD on
munter.
this song?
CD is 0.28.
Very nice.
Wow. Okay.
So considerably better than the Saab or
But those
the Corvette.
narrow ass tires help a lot too, compared to like modern tires.
Well, it's just look at it from above. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't look up what the Gogol mobile was, but we all know what.
Yeah. It's like a mini version of that.
Oh god. Yeah. Basically, it's very similar. And then my best is.
Oh, you got to get rid of that.
The Tatra T77. So
is this the one with the rear mounted like V8 or no?
Yes, I'm going to bring this up in every episode. So the Tatra T77 has a drag coefficient of 0.212.
Wow.
Amazing.
Which is literally almost as good as we could get cars with passengers in them with computers.
Is this a really big car or not? Or is that person really tiny in that picture? The main picture.
Car.
It's big. It's really
okay,
big.
because that car looks like the roofline looks to be like almost 6 feet compared to the guy.
That is such a fantastic car.
It's like 7.5 feet wide.
Oh wow!
They're so huge.
What's the reason for it being so huge? Is it like an aero thing, or just because of how it was designed?
That is so cool.
So it came out in 1934.
Wow, they had 0.212. You said
yes.
CD
212. Wow.
It had a walking beam valve train, which was like Duesenberg technology.
Didn't some Volkswagens have that?
I don't.
Where it would like rock back and forth, like almost like a spider. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it's cool.
Yeah. It's super wild. Anyways, there you go. You have these giant valve stems that weigh.
Oh wow! That looks like pedals.
Yeah, they're like several pounds each, and have to be machined because they have to be like the right weight or they explode. Yeah. And did you see the back of it? It has a fin.
It had like a scoop or something going on in the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got an air intake right here.
Yeah,
so
and then a fin. So
that is so cool.
Oh, that fin is dope. I always love like the what is it, the D type? I think the Jag with a huge center fin.
It had that fin.
Yeah,
there's the D type.
And then like all these cars were total failures because no one actually wants a good car. They just.
Are you gonna search the Chrysler Airflow?
I was gonna because it came up because everyone copied it.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say
Toyota copied, but
that is such a cool car too.
I brought it up more than once.
Have we?
Yeah, because it's what the PT Cruiser's based on.
Oh yeah, we did talk about it.
Speaking of airflow and like his cars, did you see the new Mercedes, the EQ XX?
Yeah, EQ
like 1,000 kilometers on a single charge or tank of gas or hybrid or whatever it was.
Yeah, I really like this airflow. Especially that crazy grill that goes like super high up.
Oh yeah,
we did talk about this car.
We did, yeah. I think like 2 episodes ago or something like that, or 3 episodes.
But the copy of it is so they just announced a new Chrysler Airflow. It's an ugly crossover. So
sure, everything is a crossover.
Where's the Toyota one? I can't remember.
I don't know, but maybe a Toyota AA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was like their first car, right?
Yeah. She doesn't look very happy.
That's what booth professionals look like in Japan.
That's cool.
And Volvo copied it too. But anyways, I just love that. I mean, I know it's not. I couldn't find the CD for a Z06 because I'm sure it's.
Is it even available yet?
I'm sure it's worse.
Think so?
Well, just because
It has more aero.
drag. Yeah, it has more aero, bigger spoilers and stuff. Like
It has a front
there's, like,
splitter, the rear
Viper.
wing.
Like, you remember the 5th generation Viper between the GTS and the ACR? The ACR had a top speed that was like 25 miles per hour slower because it had 1,000 pounds of downforce.
But it can
Right.
turn, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. You ever see that picture of someone standing on the rear wing, like literally standing on the
amazing.
edge? Yeah, that was such
That's
a
amazing.
like well-built wing. Like 180-pound guy standing on a wing. I was like, bro, I would not trust the wing like that.
But it has to be, right? Like that's the
What's
yeah. Look at that
ACR?
thing. That's the ACR. Yeah. There's a
There it
guy.
is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I was like, I do not trust that.
I love it.
And these are the same cars they use for those like underground racing, like half mile, full mile, like 3,000 horsepower cars.
You seen how they squat?
Oh, dude, it's so cool.
Because of the downforce. Once they go about 150, that fucking rear suspension is like tucking, like it's like in there in the ground.
You're right.
Well, it's also like F1 cars. That's why they spark going down the straightaways now.
They're just dragging those like the Venturi tunnel strakes or whatever it is, or the tips of the wings.
It's just pulling the car down.
Right.
That's such a cool bike. I love that. What is it? The ZX12R?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I saw? I didn't get a picture of it. I saw that BMW motorcycle we're talking about with the engine sideways. I saw the head of it.
Oh,
like,
you saw one?
It was on the left side. Yeah.
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 Hey, you guys ready for cars I saw this week?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh yeah. I'll get mine loaded here in a second.
Okay.
Damn.
Oh hell yeah! First gen MR2.
Daily driven. There's like tons of daily driven.
Wow,
just
look at
rusted
that car
out.
is rusted. Yeah.
So I took a picture because it says Toyota in huge letters here, and it has the optional spoiler.
Very nice.
So is this a turbo? No.
They made them supercharged as an
Supercharged.
option. Yeah, some of them.
Doesn't this mean supercharged? Doesn't look original though.
I don't know. I don't remember anymore.
Look at that third light that's attached, like mandatory attached. Third.
Yeah, that third brake light is awful.
What had to be high mount, so where else are you gonna put it? Actually,
I wonder if they were not allowed to put it. I wonder if they weren't allowed to put it in the glass because it was gonna get blocked by the spoiler or something.
Well, if you put it in the glass, this is the worst center high mount brake light in the history of vehicles.
Even to Toyota, huh?
Well, they just don't care.
Yeah.
Where is it? What is the high mount brake light?
This one has the. Oh, it's on the spare, right?
No, it's just on the outside of the car and like a little thing.
Oh, yeah, you can see right there. Yeah.
Yeah, look.
I don't know which one I was thinking of. Where it's like on the spare tire, the
Jeeps.
swing out. Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, Jeeps put them on there. Anyways, so that was
this one was understandable though, right? Because that one had the roll down rear window.
Actually, as long as we're talking about aero, wait.
Yeah.
So you always wonder why. No, because this is one of the coolest, real like functional. So you always wonder why 4Runners always have this wing on the back. Oh, you could see it really well in this.
Oh, yeah, I know the wing you're talking about.
So this wing right here, it's because every 4Runner, the back window rolls down. So having this wing on here creates a pressure differential that keeps exhaust from going in the back of the car. That's why they always have a wing, because they all have roll down rear windows.
I wonder if fucking Jeb still kept his on, fucking 25 years later.
I don't know. They're expensive because they get ripped off, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, what happens once it's?
I don't think it's that much of a problem. But also, I saw one of these, but couldn't get a photo of it. A 2-door 4Runner.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they were really expensive. Cool. Okay, so first we saw this guy. This was parked in front of my apartment, which I know isn't like that noteworthy, but just the fact that we have like
a Nakaduck or something, maybe.
Yeah, right.
A double on top too, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyways, I just thought that was pretty neat. I saw this
at the
coffee shop, and like the whole front was just beat to shit because it had like real cheap thin paint. These are huge and really kind of ugly in person.
Yes.
Look at it compared to the truck next to it, though.
I mean, like those are monster trucks, though. Like,
right?
This is an NV, those huge NV vans.
Oh, those vans. Okay.
It's like I've never seen a car that looks more like a moose than that Nissan.
It was really ugly. Like, it was like, Christina, look, and she's like, ugh.
It's a van. What?
Yeah, right. So that was cool.
Oh, an Expo.
in mint shape, no rust at all.
Wow.
This was the car that they used in Toy Story 1, right? That the
Yes.
mom drove. And they actually made one of these in Japan with an Evo drivetrain.
How do you spell Mitsubishi?
Sound it out. That's what I do.
I put Mr. Bushdies. I'm not gonna find the photo.
Just trust me.
Trust me, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I love that it's like so short but so long. It looks like a computer mouse.
It just looks like a sneaker.
What is it? Is it not the Colt? What is it that Mitsubishi had something similar to that? I forget what it was.
It was sold as a Dodge Colt, I think.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. I think I already sent you guys this, but
you did.
a
Yeah.
5-speed and a dude hopped like left in and out,
Dude,
got in
this
at
thing
parking
could drive.
spots and drove
I'll
off.
say this thing could drive forwards or backwards. I could not tell it. I could not tell what the front is.
Right.
It was so like nice and perfect inside, and just had a little tiny bit of rust. Not bad for here at all.
No, that is really cool.
Because like a 2015 Dodge Ram they have to throw them out because they rust so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Got him.
Yeah, that's good. Hey.
Okay, so I've seen this thing parked on the side of the road for weeks, and I finally saw someone driving it, and it was like
Sam Hyde. Who the fuck is driving that?
It was like a orange.
It's electric, I assume, right?
Yeah, so it qualifies as a mobility scooter. I looked them up on Alibaba, and they're like $1,800, and they'll ship it to your house in a box. And top speed is 19 miles per hour. And you can't really tell, but it was like totally like a Vato guy, like smoking like a foot-long blunt.
This door is longer than like 80% of the car.
And it's one seat.
The door has 3 windows.
It's so weird. It's got a D pillar and it's a foot long.
Right. I was gonna say, when you get it tinted, do they charge you for those windows too?
Yeah. They charge you for one. That's an expensive car.
Right. And then it had like crash bumpers, like a brush guard on the rear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it technically qualifies as a mobility scooter.
Is that like one way to get around a DUI?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
In South Carolina, it was sub 50cc scooters.
Oh man,
Here it's and look, it's one person wide.
Right. Yeah, I was exactly. So could you drive this into the store, like at Walmart, like from the parking lot?
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't know, I don't understand how he charges it, because it has like 3 miles of range or something. Anyways, I once again almost crashed my car to get this photo.
Yeah, worth it.
But I tried to get a photo like capturing him and just like smoke, like he just like exhaled, and it was like full on Snoop Dogg.
Does it have a sunroof?
It does. It looks like.
It looks like a little.
It has Altezza taillights too. I think
it does have those clear lights, dude. That's just
the Euro lights or Euro tail.
And a fin. It looks like a little
Dude, this is like Fast and the Furious in the future.
Jimmy Neutron.
You got the nice one.
What kind of wheels are those? Are those like some sort of TZs?
It has a solid front axle with torsion bars. Imagine how easy that is to knock over.
Right. He's ready for tracks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just thought.
The Subaru, the Legacy,
just dumped. Sorry, it was snowing.
We never see these out here.
Yeah,
I see them all the time.
You do? I never see those.
My boss drives the wagon, the 2.5 GT.
Okay.
That's what
I see that every day.
I don't know them.
Okay. They're good looking cars. Especially the wagon. It's really good looking.
A handsome vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
is that a Lexus?
Yeah, like slammed with a roll cage and stick shift, and missing a front bumper. And
well, let's check out that Buick in the corner. Actually,
I know. I was looking at that Buick.
Okay, you guys ready for the one that shocked me the most?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
an S-Cargo.
Yeah.
Is it actually working, or is it just like a prop?
It's just like a prop, but it's like.
Why did they choose an S-Cargo?
For a title loan place.
Préstame rápidos.
Préstamos.
What's préstamos? Like fast
loans.
Oh, I was looking at the one on the right. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't read it that well on the right.
I thought this was a Mexican food restaurant for a second.
I thought so too. I was like, what is this? A burrito?
Have you seen like the racist like Chinese food places in Mexico?
Mm.
Can we stop the stream?
It's called I think it's called El Chino.
Okay.
cut.
Yeah, they always have like this, and usually with like really bad buck teeth and a sombrero, and
Oh, wow,
they're
that's
all
cool.
over the place in Ensenada.
Gotcha.
Well, there's a city I think near Ensenada that's like it's called like Hong Kong. I'm not.
Oh Jesus!
No, never mind. I don't know. It's just it has a name. I'll find it later.
No,
But there's
that's
actually
fun.
like a large Chinese population there.
Oh,
Go down. Look at the
oh!
exhaust. The exhaust. Laguna Seca exhaust.
Yeah, that's a Laguna Seca exhaust.
Why is it like that? To
When you
unknown
drive around
So-
Laguna Seca, it's so it's
There's a-
counterclockwise, right? So it's always pointing in.
Away from the sound house.
It's always pointing in. Yeah.
There's a decimal limit to the certain track days to avoid getting black flag. They'll point their exhaust away from the microphones if they're running like too loud of an exhaust note or straight pipes or turbo or whatever.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I know.
Right.
I'm being a jerk, but this is the place.
Do you remember that Evo? Do you remember that like silver
Oh,
Evo
yeah.
8 that had that big
Exactly.
ass muffler?
It came.
This
It came.
I've driven by it and it smells good.
La cochinita.
No,
little-
they have the freaking thing on the wall too.
It's like the little dirty one. But yeah,
Oh,
that Evo
man.
had like it would come up from exhaust. It would go up 90 degrees and like 3 feet of muffler, and then a 90-degree bend to the left, and another 3 feet of muffler.
Yeah, I remember that. Like they just had to really quiet that thing down. Muffler, yeah. It was like the first time I had ever seen something like that. And
Suzuku.
But it's just to avoid the sound house.
Oh,
they did it with I think Spa as well, right? In Belgium. I think
Oh,
that one
did
also has a sound limit and trying to remember what else.
On the topic of exhaust, when the Koenigsegg 121 came out, they were on track to beat the track record with their car, and they black flagged them because I think a Ferrari was bitching about it, but supposedly their car was too loud.
They would have destroyed that
Mm-hmm.
that track record.
Mm-hmm.
You saw this one?
Yep. Yeah, on the way home.
I love it.
Okay.
I love all the
Yeah.
mods with the green and what is this like angels and devils skulls?
Something like that, yeah. And he has like studs on his wheels. I don't know if you
Is
noticed that too.
original paint?
I don't know.
It looks it.
It kind of does, huh?
This is what that guy was driving in that mobility scooter before
Is
he
that
got his
a-
DUI.
Is that an NACA deck on the door? Like, I don't know if it's functional or not, or by
I
the
think
door.
inspired by, right?
Yeah, it's
Right,
really
yeah.
inspired
That
by
look.
weird unresolved lines there.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it.
Right.
Mhm.
This is a
Oh,
quadra-steer.
brother.
Oh, it's a quadra-steer, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I waited. I purposely drove slow, and they actually they actually had the wheels counter steering on. He did a U-turn. I was like, oh fuck yeah!
Lord
That's
have
so cool.
mercy.
I love that. Like how it was like a half flare side,
Exactly, yeah.
but it's like it's not for anything because you don't get a step and you don't
No,
get
not at all.
a double wide.
The only way I can identify quadra-steers are by the 3 little taillights and the little humps on the side. That's the only way I could identify them.
For me,
Yeah.
it's those LED markers because you also
That's
get
what I meant.
the.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Those
Oh yeah, I
lights.
never noticed the 3 above the license plate because there was also the Suburban. There was also
Okay.
Suburban or whatever Yukon.
Well, they have these, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
was
it.
thinking of. But I didn't notice
Well,
that it had the 3 lights above the license plate on the back.
What
Right.
a rig. What a
And
rig.
for some reason, all the quadra-steers I've ever seen have always been black. I don't know why. That's another reason I
Interesting.
noticed it.
Can you
looks
search
like they're mostly
Suburban? Sorry. Suburban quadra-steer.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
it had
flares.
the body colored flares and the
Oh, no
LED
shit.
markers. Yeah,
Look who posted about one.
of course.
This
It's a quadra-steer.
Oh, I love it. There's a lot of these soldiering around here too, which is amazing because I think all the ones in California have rusted out because people put surfboards on the roof.
It's just a cool looking, kind of old school.
Yeah.
No third brake light.
Yeah,
That is such a nice truck.
they
Even the headliner
and-
looks good.
they're great.
And the
trucks.
last one's kind of. I saw it on the way home today, actually.
Oh,
Wait, what
Car
am I
fell off
looking at?
of
Tundra?
overpass.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
only way
Well, it's
you become a
more
first gen Tundra, drive it off an overpass.
It's still good, dude. That
Yeah.
truck is still good.
Oh, definitely. Well, if Top Gear has anything to say about it, you can
Yeah.
throw off a building. Do you have anything, Bob?
I do not. Oh well, I mean, I went to the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I have a couple cool cars.
Get them up. Get them up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't think to share these, but oh, sorry, 1 second. Sending now.
Oh, that's a nice color combination.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just excuse, shitty photos, but
Yeah.
Look at this
the
guy.
one on the left is a 787.
I don't care what they say. I'm touching it.
Here's so they had 3 Mazda rotaries. Those were the 2. Here's a
Oh, this is
Toyota.
the AAR one, right? The Mark
Yes.
3 or whatever.
You can actually see it on the door, right next to the driver's names. You can see the AAR logo right there, All American Racing.
Right. This thing was a nutty, like crazy aero. I remember hearing stories about it.
Oh, as long as we're on the subject of Toyota, what do you guys think of the new Corolla?
Oh, the GR Corolla?
What's it, 350 horsepower?
300 and something, I think. Yeah. Is it 350? That's a lot. That was only like slightly over 300, if that.
Yeah,
That's still a lot of
300.
power.
That's a lot.
I think it's a cool hatchback, but I
300.
go.
I lied.
Okay, yeah, it's whatever. So that's I don't know, man. It's a fun looking small car.
Imagine what your
It's gonna
insurance
be
premium is
fast.
gonna be.
Yeah. Like I played with the thought of buying that. I was like, do I want?
I know. When the Yaris first was being developed, the Yaris GR, I was freaking out. I was like all about it. I'm like, you're telling me
so
you're getting it's like, hold on. It's like you're getting a 1.6 directly from you're getting a 1.6 3-cylinder directly from the WRC car of the time. You're getting a front and rear mechanical LSD, and you're getting a custom shell in the Toyota Yaris, a Yaris that's different from the normal Yaris, that the roof has been lowered, by 50 mil because Tommy Mäkinen himself suggested that Toyota do that, and now you're putting that in a road car. I'm like, hell yes. I wanted it so bad.
One of our friends has one.
Yeah, one of our friends has the Yaris GR, but the Corolla is kind of like to see this one, it's like, well, we can't give you the Yaris because it's not road legal in America, but you can get the one that's 400 pounds heavier. So,
but it has like 50 more horsepower, 30 more horsepower, something like that, right?
I think it's like 30 more horsepower, but it's not that much if you think about it, because that engine and drivetrain is all motorsports, like full on. Like you can wind that thing up to fucking 500 plus horsepower, and it'll just take it.
Right. Did you see? I think there's a video of a slightly souped up, I hate to use that term, Yaris going around Tsukuba. I think it's going under a minute a lap or something like that. Yeah, it's hauling.
That's amazing for a Yaris.
Exactly. Anything under a minute on that track is just amazing.
There are some quick Yarises.
I don't like the exhaust either on this Corolla.
It's a weird like triple tip, right? It's like
I'm not a fan. I don't know.
Yaris is good looking though to me.
Yes, the Yaris does look cool. That's the thing. It's like I can't buy it knowing. I don't know. It's like I wouldn't buy it because it's like I just want the Yaris so bad.
But do you like this car like $500 a month plus $300 a month in insurance?
No, hell no.
After your first ticket?
I don't like almost any car enough to do that.
Yeah, I spent so much money on car insurance.
I have one more car on the thing.
Oh, sorry.
That's cool. Okay.
Nice.
So this one, yeah, dude, this thing's so fucking cool. It just looks like a Gundam to me. Like it just looks so crazy.
Look at the bad son and the good son. The good son's like, whoa, a car. Bad son's like
phone.
There's Pokemon here.
But yeah,
What's the name of this Mazda?
the RX-792P. You can see it on the bottom of the windshield there.
Okay.
I like this.
4-rotor beast.
Wow.
I mean,
4-rotor. Nice.
They don't start any of these anymore, do they?
they raced them.
Oh,
it was
really?
so fucking cool.
I didn't even know
So
I didn't even know they
right before I took these photos, they were doing like a practice session, and we all stood around and just like I kept telling my dad, I'm like, wait till you hear these cars. This is the main reason I wanted to come here today, just to see these 3 cars go at it. And like, cool, we saw them. They sounded amazing. And then I was like, okay, for the race that was going to be later, like at 5 p.m. I was like, I want to stand towards the end of the front straightaway. So if you know the layout, they go
braking?
underneath. Yeah. So before braking, they go underneath a bridge, and that's where we stood. Was right underneath the bridge.
Are you talking about the long or the short layout?
The main straightaway, the long one. That's
so the
one
super long right-hand sweeper, then it's a hard left?
Yes.
Okay.
You search. Oh, there it is. You can see it in the black 5th image on the first row. There it is. So turn 1. You see turn 1 right there. Just before that, to the right of that, I was standing to the right of where your cursor is.
Like by what number 6 is?
Kind of by where number 6 is, but on the side of turn 1. I was standing around there. So I was standing actually basically underneath an overpass that goes right where the cursor is. I was standing exactly there, and you can just
the cars full throttle and braking then, right?
Flying past you underneath this bridge, and then yeah, I mean it was.
Luis, have you been there?
No, but I've raced it on video games plenty of times.
It's like the amount of shit just all around is.
It's weird.
It is so strange. There's like a Bubba Gump like 3 feet away from it.
Yeah, and there's a lighthouse.
And the ocean. And
the Queen Mary.
They do concerts right here.
Is that even there anymore? Is the Queen Mary still there?
Yeah, it's concreted in.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I know you, but it's like such a weird place to do it. There's like people kayaking.
I've never been there when it wasn't the race.
I've been
there. So every time I go there, I'm like, I just see the race, and I kind of want to go when it's not. Just to see what it like, how weird it all is.
It's one of the best aquariums in the world.
Yeah.
Was the RX-792 whatever? Did it sound like the 787?
Yeah, they were all 4-rotors.
Okay.
The 4 of them.
There's some 4-rotors that I don't know if they have a different firing sequence or what, but some of them don't sound nearly as good as like the 787.
I wonder if it's just the revving, like because
that, or maybe naturally aspirated or not too. Have you ever heard a turbo 4-rotor, and those don't sound nearly as good as the naturally ones?
I also always liked this. That this used to be like a wetlands, and they like filled it in, right? It's all businesses and like Patagonia stores, and they're like, here, there's the Marine Ecological Reserve. Animals, go over here.
let's relegate you to this corner.
8 Suburbans long.
Wow.
Look.
Yeah, that's so shitty. That's so shitty.
Fuck you, animals.
Yeah, what the fuck? We need space for our boats.
Yeah, right.
Rich people.
Not even good boats. These are like, 25-foot boats.
If that.
Those are trailerable. Right.
This is like America's bootleg version of Monaco.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do because
it's Monaco.
When they first started racing, the first race was actually an F1 race. F1 used to race here. They had a slightly different layout, but.
Oh, speaking of F1, Circuit, did you hear about the F1 going back to Kailami possibly?
I'm excited. That's a good track.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
It's a fun looking track.
I'm not that excited for Las Vegas and Miami and all these weird bullshit tracks.
Vegas looks so boring to me.
It looks like a boring track, right?
It's just like 5-6 turns. It's nothing crazy. Like there's no crazy looking turns. It's like a straightaway and like 2 high points.
It would have been cool if they made it like a PGR4 track.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
Speaking of shitty fake Monaco, look at that shot. Oh god, look where they're doing it.
That's it.
That's it right there. That's it.
That's supposed to be it. I don't know if that's the official layout. I mean, F1 did unveil that, but I don't know if it's the finalized layout.
Did you ever see the Caesar Palace F1 race they had?
They used to race in the Caesar Palace.
It's right there in the. It looks like a serpentine
Search
belt.
1981.
It's right at the. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
So it's 1981.
Caesar Palace. He was right. It was. You could see the image there. Yeah, there you go. They raced in the parking lot of the Caesar's Palace.
Look like a serpentine belt.
F1 has come a long way.
It's like a timing belt from an Audi.
My dad actually went to this race.
Oh no shit!
Once
He went
again,
to that
Vegas is mostly interesting to me for the thought of driving there as fast as I can in this from
yeah. Wait, CUDA.
but the reality of it.
You're gonna be in a Corolla doing 80 at the most.
Yes.
But it's a GR, so it's cool.
Okay.
It's a cool Corolla.
Mm-hmm.
Cool Rolla. Anyways,
Is that time?
I
Call it.
must find food.
Mhm.